Matt Judy,
How you doing?
commercial real estate expert, downtown Roswell, Canton Street, surrounding areas. This guy knows everything going on in Roswell, and that's why I wanted to have a conversation with him. First things first, Dan, your partner,
Yep.
is too scared of cameras.
Does not like cameras. Does not like the radio. Does not like public speaking. So
So that's why he's
I'm
not
here.
here.
That's it.
That's crazy. We'll have to give him some grief for it.
Absolutely.
But I'm super pumped you're here because I wanted to have some conversations with you about different things happening around Canton Street. There's so much that's changing. There's so much new developments that are popping up and coming to Roswell. So give me like a high level overview for somebody who doesn't know what's going on in Roswell, maybe lives around Roswell. What are some of the main few things that are coming to Roswell that are maybe something they could be excited about?
Well, everything's exciting in Roswell right now, and being somebody that grew up there, born, raised, went away, came back, and raising
Atlanta?
my family there. No,
Oh,
I went
yeah.
to New York City for
Did
6
you
years.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I lived in
Okay.
the village for 6 years.
Okay.
Came home and raised a family in Roswell. And back in the day, there was nothing but clock shops, maybe one restaurant, the Chandlery, and that was about it on Canton Street. And you look at Canton Street post-Olympics, and it's just blown up.
Where was the
And,
Chandlery?
The Chandlery is where Salt is. Salt
Okay.
and Loyal.
What was the Chandlery?
It was a gift type thing
Oh, okay.
where everybody went and got their gifts. So you want to
Interesting.
get something for your grandma, you want to get something for your mom, just a gift spot. So
And it was Salt and Loyal Tavern.
yeah, half of Loyal and
Okay,
Salt. Yeah,
okay.
right there on the corner. And it was there for 100 years. I mean, it was the place to go. And it's gone, and now everything's replaced by restaurants.
Yeah.
And I like to call Canton Street a walking food hall.
Yeah.
Because most people come, they park, and they walk, and they say, all right, where are we going to go tonight? And that's what it's become. And the reason why it's become that is rents.
Yeah.
So rents are so high on the street that you have to basically, it's kind of kicked most of the retail out. Because if you can get $40+ a square foot versus $30+ a square foot, that's the reason people, highest and best use of their building, say, we'll put a restaurant in.
Yep.
And so it's become that walking food hall. I'm starting to see a little bit of a return of some retail. In fact, we just put in a retail spot on Canton a few weeks ago called Empire South.
Yeah.
It'll be their third store. And
which building is that?
that's going to be right down next to Carlisle's Pizza.
Yeah. To the left?
To the left.
Yep.
And it's going to be great. It's what's Roswell needed. It's going to have everything from Johnny O, Peter Millar, to Georgia Bulldogs. I'm
go.
trying to get some Georgia Tech stuff in there.
Nah, we can stay with Jordan Bulldog.
Try to get some tech stuff in there. They do Roswell stuff. Empire South also owns the Peach State Pride brand.
Oh, cool.
So that will be in there as well. And so I think that it serves a lot of people in Roswell who had to come up here to Alpharetta, Close Horse, or other spots to get that type of stuff.
You said something really interesting. You said it's exactly what Roswell needed. So what else does Roswell need? If somebody's out there and they're like, well, I want to prop something up off Canton Street. It's beachfront property. Like
Right.
what else does Roswell need on Canton Street?
Well, I think the retail is needed to kind of balance out, bring more people. So when you're in that walking food hall, you have places to go.
Yeah.
So after dinner, you can walk here, walk there. I think that's necessary. I think anything family in Roswell sells. Right? If
Yeah.
you can bring the kids, let them run around, look at Lucky's.
Yes.
Over at Lucky's, they put that turf field out next to it. You go over there, there's a baseball, football game, kids just killing each other on the side field. But that's where everybody goes after a ball game. They go from the Roswell Park to there. Now, go down the street. We actually helped do this deal at the church, the old church down on South Atlanta, where Roswell Junction is now.
Yeah.
They've kind of taken that and done the same thing, added a little bit adult aspect to it. They've got live music there.
Yeah.
So that's an old church. You should see
Did
the
not know
pictures.
that.
And they did an amazing job. A gentleman named Will Colley.
Did they tear the church down or they keep the
No, they
footprint?
kept the church and basically went in, redid the inside of the church, and put the turf outside next to it,
Wow.
and they've got a huge stage in there. They're starting to do bourbon tastings and wine tastings and stand-up comedy and a bunch of stuff like that. So
Cool.
it's a really cool aspect. I think if Roswell could get some more live music, to answer your first question, it would be huge because you know, you look at a place like an Eddie's Attic,
Yeah.
or places like that. If we could get a live music venue, I know that Roswell Junction's doing some good concerts down there, but a little larger live music venue where you could have Driving and Crying, or
Interesting.
you know,
Couple thousand?
yeah,
Or a couple
thousand,
hundred
couple. I mean, even 500. You know,
Yeah,
it would be
yeah.
a great little intimate live music place.
Interesting.
Would be great off Canton Street. Draw
Yeah.
more people there. The big thing that everybody complains about is parking.
Yeah. Yeah.
In and around Canton Street.
Are we gonna have to pay for parking now
So
at the deck?
they basically came back yesterday and reversed their decision, or a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
Reversed their decision. Parking is now free at the deck.
Let's go.
So the
Were
deck
you
will
up front
be free.
just chanting free parking, just getting them to do it?
So when I was on City Council, I was also on City Council for 4 years, and we studied the parking problem pretty hard. And when in 2019, we had a study that said, don't build a deck. And the reason it said don't build a deck is a deck at that time, I think, was $35,000 to $40,000 a space to build.
Oh my gosh.
And then if you wanted to wrap it to make it look nice, I think we were around $45,000 of space, plus your upkeep year after year after year. So you got to have that in your general fund budget to make that happen.
Right.
So they said find more surface parking. So at the time we went and found the gravel lot over next to the
Fire station.
the Hagen lot out there,
Yep.
and we started finding more places where we had surface parking. To that end, at some point a deck was going to be built. It was how it was going to be done. The deck is now built. I'm not going to go into the politics of what happened and why we're there, this, that, and the other. It's free. We've got the deck, and so we're very happy about that.
Yeah.
So that should help with the parking issue on Canton Street moving forward. And with that, I think now it's, all right, how do we draw people here? So you've got the Southern Post that opened.
Yep. How's that doing?
So the Post was, we proved that when I was on council, and has 126 apartments. It has, I want to say 90,000 square feet of office, retail, and restaurant. And I think everybody there's just getting their feet under them now, because construction's kind of stopped in the area. You've got one little spot over next to it where the old coin laundry was that's now being redone right next to it. So that's kind of the last bit of the construction over there. But they're getting their feet under them. People are starting to find out about it. Guarana over there is great. Bay, the Mediterranean there. Stilla de Toro, which is down in the corner, is a really cool little, I would say, tapas place.
Yeah.
Really moody kind of feel.
What's your favorite place over there?
I would say Stilla de Toro.
Really?
I mean, Grana's great. I like Grana. But Stilla de Toro is just, if I wanted to go for an evening, quiet evening, I think that's where I'd go. Grana probably second. But yeah, no, it's growing. I think once they're able to fill the office space there, and fast forward to the hotel, the Chambray, which is opening up
just to the left of it.
Just to the left of Southern Post, is going to be open up. It's a JDV Hyatt hotel, luxury hotel, that's opening up next summer.
Let's go.
And that will bring, I think, 125 rooms.
Okay.
Much needed. We need a hotel walkable to Canton Street, walkable. So now you've got a real Thursday through Sunday crowd there.
Yep.
And if you can fill up the office, I think there's a floor vacant and maybe a half floor vacant there. You fill up the office there. Now you have all those daytime visitors as well throughout the week that supports the restaurants around there and supports Canton Street. Has a hotel so people can come stay, go to the office. So it then creates this ecosystem with the parking deck that allows that to grow. So very excited about that. That was kind of always the vision with Southern Post.
Yeah.
Because once you have all that full, it's an ecosystem that supports stuff and takes a little pressure off Canton Street, but allows kind of a triangulation of what you're trying to do.
It's called the Chambray.
The Chambray.
Okay,
Yep.
2 questions about the Chambray. Number one, is it going to get rid of the Airbnbs in Roswell?
No.
You think the Airbnbs will stay
I
for the
think
weddings
the
and stuff?
Airbnbs will stay. Roswell, what most people don't know, and I haven't checked lately, but Roswell is one of the top, if not the top, wedding destination in the state.
Wow.
And so you have a lot of people coming in to Naylor Hall and all
I
the
got married.
antebellum homes doing their weddings. So you have a ton of people coming in for that. So Thursday through Sunday, you have all these people looking to stay at these places. Families want to stay together.
Right. Right.
The Airbnbs is where people want to stay.
Right.
You know, short-term rental laws and the politics of all that, you know, is something that everybody has a different opinion on. But I think that there will be a place for that. As much as it's regulated, you know, we'll see. But I think just because of Roswell being that destination for the weddings and stuff like that, it will still happen.
Second question about the Chambray.
Yep.
Is that going to be the final hotel built, or is there still plans to build this like boutique hotel that everybody always talks about?
So the hotel in the West Alley is still possibly happening. You know, the problem happened with the hotels is hotels have been, in the commercial real estate world, has been hard to finance. Since the numbers went over 6 in the mortgage world.
Yep.
It's really hard to finance a hotel from ground up.
Yep.
So that hotel, when it was first approved, was ready to go. And then all of a sudden the world changed. And,
Is that pre-COVID?
Yeah, so we approved it right, you know, around then, and then here we go. Yeah,
Wow.
pre-COVID, and then the world changed. So the financing of that, I believe, became tough, and what to do with that whole thing without the hotel is, you know, do you put residential there? Do you put all retail there? Can it support retail? You know,
This is the
where's
idea
parking
behind
deck?
Salt, right?
Behind Salt and behind Canton Street there.
Yeah.
So I've talked to many folks, and it's still a good possibility that it could go there. That would be another 125 rooms. So you'd have 300 rooms in downtown Roswell, which I believe it can support. We'll see what happens. Again, that's out of, I think, people's hands. That it's in people's hands that are much smarter than me to figure out if that's viable now. But I think it would be a great addition, especially if you can put some green space in there. I think, again, let's go back. You asked me the first question a few questions ago. What does Roswell need? A city green. All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alpharetta's got the space downtown, where,
100%.
and that is just a place that kind of drives everything around it.
Yep.
So where do you put that city green is the question. There was a group that wanted to put it in front of City Hall many years ago, and there was a bunch of people that didn't want the pine trees torn down, you know, and I understand that, you know, you want to keep the wooded area right there in front of City Hall. And some people really want that. And then, you know, some people want that completely barren and want the green out there with a fountain, and so you can see the beautiful City Hall there. Can you put it elsewhere? I mean, you've got the antique store right there.
Yeah.
And that antique store is a great parking place, you know, and Mr. Shire's owned that, used to be Peachtree Salvage.
Why doesn't he ever sell it?
Well, why would he? He's making a lot of money in parking, right?
He's making a lot of money on parking.
So I wouldn't sell that either.
Yeah.
But that spot is a great location. Can you put it there? The corner at Rock and Taco there would be a great location for a city green, right there on the corner, and then you could open back into the West Alley.
Right.
There's just a lot of different opportunities there, and then you have the Hill Rose development that's opening up right on Hill Street, right across from City Hall, where the jail was.
Yeah.
Jail and police. So they're full bore over there, tearing stuff up, getting ready. I believe it has 20 something.
This is Hill Rose?
Hill Rose.
Yep.
Hill Rose.
So
right.
So what's going to go on a Hill Rose?
So I believe there's 20. Right now it's slated for 20 something for sale townhomes. When I was on council, we approved 99 apartments at the corner there. The next administration came in and they upped that to 140, I think around 150, I don't know the exact number, apartments. So there'll be 150 apartments-ish, the for sale townhomes, and then 30,000 square feet of, I believe, retail and restaurant. I'm not sure about the office, but it's going to be a pretty big development. I think actually almost as big, if not bigger, than Southern Post.
Oh, wow.
So you're going to have
More
another,
restaurants?
yeah. So now you've got another place on Canton Street, right off Canton Street. So if you look at it, you can go Southern Post, Hill Rose, and then Canton Street, and you have a triangle there.
Yep.
Now how do you service all that, right? How does all that come alive, and how do you have enough visitors there?
That's what I was going
to
say.
make it happen.
Do we have too many options in Roswell?
Well, and so again, people smarter than me, they're putting money into stuff like this. They've done the studies. You have to say, well, you know, we trust what they're saying. I think that we have to be careful in oversaturating.
Yep.
And if you put another 60,000 square foot of restaurant in Roswell, does it become redundant?
Yeah.
And
Does all those other options drive down the prices of Canton Street, which then opens up more opportunities for things like retail?
so no.
No?
And the reason why is to build those new developments, the cost is so high to then occupy those new spaces. So actually it's raising prices because the rents in those places are high.
Have to be high.
So then you can bring your rent up on the other places
Interesting.
to get to that number.
Interesting.
And you're still below that number. So it's kind of a catch-22 there.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that Roswell is trying to become like Alpharetta 2.0 with all these bougie restaurants like Truth Be Told and Floga kind of having sort of hit or miss, you know, success? It just feels a little bit like Roswell's trying to be.
So it's
like they're trying to
funny,
do
when
something
I
else?
was growing up, this all used to be a field up here in Alpharetta.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to come up and I remember people go cow tipping actually, you know, and we'd come up to Milton, to the Milton game over here, right off Main Street, and you know, it was the country, and the only thing really up here was Reds, you know, package store down the street, which is still there, and
That's
the
wild.
high school and a bunch of fields, and so Alpharetta had the ability to create something on a blank canvas. And so what they did is Kathy Baker, and I give big credit to the people on council and Mayor Belle and Merkel and the folks up here have done a really good job at planning. And they were able to build around the core. So what they did is they put all their density, townhomes, smaller lots, apartments, whatnot, around the core of the city, which allowed it to be walkable.
Yep.
And so you're able to bring in restaurants with a built-in, I guess, fanfare, you
Yep.
know, everybody, clients, et cetera. So Roswell didn't have that ability. So Roswell had Canton Street, and that's basically all we had, and everything else is basically infill, because Roswell's one of the few towns, I think there's only a couple that Sherman did not burn. And the reason why is they had union hospitals in the basements of the homes in Roswell. And
Really?
they also used the mill after they got rid of the Confederate, to make some uniforms and stuff. So Roswell kind of was not burnt. So that's where you still have the antebellum homes, and you have this, that, and the other. So the infill in Roswell is, you're not looking at the blank canvas. So it's hard to then put density around the core.
Yeah.
So to answer your question on that, it's a different animal, and so
Yep.
you're now taking places and putting them into old houses and taking things. It's not a second generation or first generation. You're basically renovating something and taking. So these new restaurants that are coming in, it's interesting to me, because I never thought in my life that you would be able to get Wagyu tongue, gator ribs, et cetera, on Canton Street. I mean,
Caviar hot dog.
Right. I mean, I used to go to Ray's hamburgers and get a hamburger from Jimmy down at the corner grocery, and now you've got caviar hot dogs and stuff like that. So
Does that work in Roswell? That stuff seems like it doesn't work in Roswell.
So here's I guess the bet they're making is that down the street you have Table of Maine, Ryan Pernice, who also owns Austrian Batone. They just got the Michelin nod.
Yep.
22 years in a row. So can you have a Michelin star restaurant in Roswell? And with the home values, as you know, continuing to rise out here, you have people that want want to come to Roswell as a destination. Again, I think that's a lot of what we're talking about as Roswell kind of grows and becomes a culture, a personality. Does it evolve into that where you have people coming for destination food? And not just to walk up and down the street and as a walk-in food hall, because if you're walking up and down the street to walk-in food, you're not walking into that restaurant.
Right.
Because that's, I believe it's, there's a prefix menu, and then you've got, across the street at Floga, it's a very high-end Greek type restaurant. And so that's more of an upscale, you got to plan that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope it works. It would be great for everybody. I can't say we've gone in and had drinks at the bar. They've done an amazing job. That place used to be the old Rice Thai restaurant. It was a Thai. Truth be told, it was a Thai restaurant. They came and invested tremendous money in that building. It looks great. Sat and had a really good drink at the bar. It's the mixologist, It's not just bourbon on a rock. Yeah. It's not Makers or Woodford on a rock. It's something very very special.
Yeah.
And they have a garden out back where they grow like the herbs and everything they put in it, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So it's an experience.
Yeah.
So can Roswell support the experience? I hope so. I don't know. I mean, it remains to be seen. I think it all depends on the development of the street as it continues to evolve.
Matt, you're a history buff for Roswell, and what's one good Roswell history story that you know about that is fascinating to share?
There's a lot of Civil War history in the city, good and bad, and you look at down at the end of the street there, where you have Bullock Hall.
Yeah.
That's attached to Franklin Delano Roosevelt's family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they used to come to Roswell, and there's a huge, huge history. The house right next to it, the Dolvin House. And so if you look at all that, people just don't understand the depth of what actually went on in Roswell over the years. And if you do some research, you drive up and down the streets, you'll look at everything completely different, because all those houses have different stories. And I can't remember if it's Barrington or Bullock. In the basement, you can still see stuff on the walls from where the soldiers were in the hospital.
So that's why Sherman didn't burn Roswell. It's because they took care of Union
Some people
soldiers?
say that. Some people say if you look up on some of the gutters, there's some Mason signs. There was a huge Masonic presence in Roswell. Sherman was a Mason. There's a bunch of different. It's in doubt. I guess people want to argue about why it happened, but people will say it was a utilitarian place for him to keep.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it's a really cool. Roswell has a really cool history dating back to the Native Americans that lived on the banks of the Chattahoochee right down there, and people can still find arrowheads in the mud down there, right there on the Chattahoochee in Roswell. So I encourage people to go to the Historical Society, to the museum over at the Cultural Arts Center, and check all that out, and you'll look at Roswell completely differently. There's a couple books, Roswell Women, Turn Homeward, Hannah Lee. There's a couple books that you can read that actually give you more of a fiction, but
Cool. Dude, that's it. That's all I got. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no worries.
All
Thanks
right,
for having me.
Absolutely.
All right.